So, where to begin? Oh my. Hey Amy. Hey Brandy. Hi Evan. Hey Mark. The wind is blowing really strong out here, so I didn't expect that. Shit. Is it bothering you guys? Mark, stop. You're funny. Can you guys hear it okay? So, thank you, Amy. So, all right. Let me think where to start. First of all, I'm in St. Petersburg right now, and I hope all of you are having an amazing Happy New Year. I hope all of you are wandering into 2020 feeling like you got this thing, okay? As you guys know, I live in Zephyr Hills, but I am dating a woman who lives in this neighborhood here in St. Petersburg. It's right off Central Avenue, and I've been seeing her for about 4 months now, but I've known her for about a year. And I think I want to tell you guys a little bit about our story. And hi Chris, Youssef, Harvey, Rachel, Courtney. So yeah, I have a very beautiful love story to tell you guys. I have been reluctant to talk about this, even though I love to vlog. I love to video blog my life. I have not been doing that very much because to kind of vlog at the way I want to do it, which is pretty raw. Say something that actually matters, to me. There's people in my life that I don't know. I just want to be a little more private about what I'm going on, and maybe be in my way that's being respectful and letting some time and letting some things heal before I kind of pick back up, and just start putting it out there again. Because there's so much happening in my life. It is unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to take you guys on a walk. I'm basically going on a walk down Central Avenue. And there'll be people in shops and things, and I can flip the camera around and let you see what I'm looking at and what we're doing. Oh, I should take you guys over to the Black Crow. That's my favorite coffee shop in town. I want to take you guys over to the Black Crow coffee shop. All right. So I'm going to walk you guys over there, and then we'll keep wandering down. So, David, Reed, Nick, everybody, thank you for joining. All right, let me get on with it. So, okay, this woman, this town. I love St. Petersburg. I was in St. Petersburg last year dating a different woman, I'll be honest. A very wonderful woman, an amazing woman. We aren't dating anymore, but the time that we were together and the time that I spent here was absolutely wonderful. I fell in love with the city. I fell in love with the people. And I fell in love with everything about it. Zephyr Hills is a cool place to be, but I don't know, this is just more my vibe. And I get to come over here on the weekends. Pretty much every weekend I come here and get to hang out. So I love this town. So, wow, I really want to tell you guys this story. I feel it's almost too soon to tell this story because I've only known this amazing woman for 4 months. And so I feel like maybe it kind of almost cheapens, if I say I love this woman, Can you love someone you've only known for 4 months? I mean, yeah, you can love them, but like seriously, like whatever. There's a certain depth, and you should just like keep it on the low key. You should just take it back a notch and just let things happen. You don't have to like be putting labels on it. It's hard. You put a label like, I love you. That's a label. Because I love everybody. You know, you can just, I love you. Of course I love you. You know, it's like, you know, you can just say it so easily. But when I'm saying it right now, I feel like I don't know. I'm not sure how I can feel like I do in such a short period of time. So here's the story. I get a divorce. And 24 years, wonderful years, but we get a divorce, and I have absolutely no idea what is going on in my life. And I was going to take you to Black Crow Coffee, and I did not want to be alone, and I had the opportunity. I met some really wonderful women, people, humans, okay, women, and I spent time with them and kind of lived around different places. Ended up down here in Zephyr Hills because of a woman. And I mean, because of an invitation from a woman, an amazing woman. These are wonderful women. But I was really lost. I was really hurting. And this is Black Crow Coffee Shop. It's so amazing, you guys. I know my story's boring anyway, but this should liven it up just a tad. Look how cool this place is. They have this typewriter. See that? And you can kind of walk in and like leave messages for people. They have this piano right back here that they encourage you to play. And a guitar hanging up if you want to play that. And then watch this. Guys, now seriously, is this like paradise or what? How does it get better than this, okay? How? You tell me how. Just send me a picture or something and tell me how it gets better than this right here. All right, so I'm going to take you guys down and I want to tell this story because I'm rambling too much. All right, so this is what happens. About, not exactly this time last year, but around about this time last year, I was in a relationship with a very genuine, wonderful, beautiful woman. And it wasn't quite working, and it was mostly me. It was my fault. I felt lost again, like I had felt time and time again in someone else's world or someone else's idea of me or my idea of myself for them. Like, I mean, I just got lost in stuff. And I realized that I hadn't been alone. I hadn't spent any time with myself. And literally at this point, it would have been, 26 years of my life. I'd been kind of in a partnership with some woman, which has pretty much been great. But I have not had a lot of, I've never gone on a vacation by myself. I don't do anything by myself. I don't know, with my kids, I do with my, wife, my girlfriend, someone. But very rarely am I ever, and so here I am, and I'm like, I need to do that. I need to be alone. I need to know I can't be like wandering around trying to find myself, and I wasn't doing it on purpose. I never felt like a bad guy. I never felt all that broken. I was always pretty vulnerable and honest, and I pretty much kind of told people what they were getting themselves into. And hopefully, there's not too much scar and damage. And I don't think people, I never had any breakups over lying and cheating or anything like that. You just kind of, it doesn't always work as like forever. And I just want to be respectful too. So, but about a year ago, I got on Tinder, and I hadn't been on it in I guess maybe one other time or something, and knew nothing about the whole dating game and all that stuff, and just trying to figure it out. And I get down here. I think I'd done it once before in Ohio. I turn it on. I match with, 2, 3, 4 people in, like 2 or 3 day period. And then it gets kind of quiet, and I contacted 2 of them, and I had basically was setting up a date. And the first one I went out with happened to be the woman that I ended up being in a relationship with for several months, and we ended up doing lots of things together. It was like a real active relationship, and with her business and her family and friends, and it was really kind of an all-engrossing experience for me. So it was a great escape. It was fun. We had laughs. We had a good time. But I needed this, and I stepped out of the relationship and didn't work very hard to get back into it. I was just like, okay, if we're hitting this roadblock, I think I need to. I'm out. I felt bad about it, but I was being true to myself. Anyway, the point is, I had also matched with this other woman, but because I started seeing, I just never, I said, yeah, maybe, I said, hey, it was nice that we matched. I know we were going to hang out and get some coffee, but I'm kind of talking to somebody now, so, I'll maybe hit you up on down the road. And she's like, okay, that's cool. I gave her my name, and I just said, you can look me up on Facebook if you want, or maybe I didn't tell her and she just did it. I don't know the details. Maybe she just did it. But the next thing I know, we're friends on Facebook, and I'm, and that was it. We really didn't chat. We didn't talk. We really didn't do anything. We just kind of were connected. And she sent me a few messages until I said, hey, I'm in a relationship. Not like, hey, she wanted me. It was just like, hey, did you ever want to hang out? What are you doing now? And I'm like, oh, I'm still kind of in that relationship. And so she was real cool, but she wrote me this kind of strange email, saying, I don't think that we would be good together. I don't think that we have any possibility of having a romantic relationship. However, after becoming your friend on Facebook over the last several months and kind of watching your life and watching these live video blogs, I do have some advice for you, because you seem to be struggling in the dating department, and I wouldn't mind straightening you right out. And I was completely amused by this message from this woman, Elsie. Her name is Elsie. I don't know. It's not like I'm going to keep it a secret. There's no secret. I don't know why I'm acting like it's a secret. Her name's Elsie. Okay, so Elsie says, oh yeah, if you ever want to know what's wrong with you, I'll be glad to tell you. I'm an expert on such things, as she would say. So I was so tickled by her. I thought it was funny. And I was like, well, I guess that's kind of normal in the life I live because of YouTube and some of the things that I've done of just people out there that you don't know watch something about you and then want to interact with you. I'm like, well, she's just like other people who watch videos of mine. She's interested, or she thinks it's funny, or she thinks I'd listen if she had an opinion. And next thing I know, we're connecting, and she really intrigued me. So my relationship ends after several months here in St. Pete. I end up on the solo journey, and I have absolutely no interest in going on a date. I didn't go on a date. I wasn't on a dating site. I started I went on this little pilgrimage thing, not pilgrimage, a little sabbatical thing. And it was amazing, and I really connected in a way with myself that I started to feel really, I didn't need to go or out with anyone or be with anybody. And that fear of being alone just kind of over those 6 months just evaporated. And then I had this new sense of myself, whew, Paul, what do you want to do next? And I'm usually, I don't know how else to say this, but usually things kind of come to me, or maybe I just don't go after things. I don't know. Maybe I don't go after things. That's the truth, is I don't go after things. I usually things kind of come to me, and I kind of take what I have and I work with it, and I like it, and it's great. But I'm not like the aggressive kind of guy that says I want someone who looks like this, who's a certain age, who has a certain background, and she better have this kind of career, and and a checklist, what color hair should be. Like, I wasn't thinking like that. I was just thinking like, I don't know, yeah, you're attractive, yeah. I never really thought of, like, if I drew somebody, what would she look like? What do I want? And why don't I go find someone and her personality, her age, whatever it is that I want, why don't I go find somebody instead of like wandering out and just like hanging out, and then whatever happens. And I think I need to take this whole thing a lot more seriously. And I was like, well, but I don't think I could catch. I think I'd be like aiming a little too high. I would be maybe, but if I had to be like really hot for somebody, it's like, damn. And so then I got to thinking, what about that girl on Facebook? That girl Elsie. I was like, man, I was really, really attracted to her. But I had never met her. I didn't know, we had never had any conversations. We never talked on the phone. We didn't even message back and forth. We were just Facebook friends, and I would maybe like a post or maybe leave a comment. She might have left one or two comments, but it was literally like, there was no relationship. It was just, we were there. So I start watching her life, start reading all of her posts, start looking through all of her photographs, and I'm like, oh my God. I was like, this woman has totally, completely captured my imagination. She's literally like my idea of super hot. My idea of super hot. She's just nerdy enough, tall enough. She's got the perfect shapes everywhere. Her hair color, her cut, her little red glasses. Everything about this woman is, she's like the animation of my imagination wrapped in, you know what I'm saying? And so I think she's magical. And so she has these free hugs. She's out free hugging people, and she's got this little bike that she folds up, and she's a minimalist, and she's just, oh my God, everything about her makes me crazy. But she had already told me she had absolutely no interest in me, and that we would never, have any possibility of a long-term romantic relationship. She tells me this, to qualify, but I would give you some dating advice. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to do something different. I've never done this before. I'm usually just kind of whatever is around me. I said, I'm going to go out. I said, I think we would be friends. Like, this is the kind of person. I was like, you know what? I've actually never dated somebody that would be like in my friend circle. I'm usually like fixing someone or helping someone or lusting after somebody or whatever. I want to, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're sexy. And you just want to go, hello. You know what I mean? We don't have to be in love today. So that stuff happens, right? In the real world. All along, you do have this fantasy in your mind, but like, who gets to do that? Well, I have all this time alone. I start thinking of what would she look like, and all the time I think, that Elsie girl, I said, I think. I'd go back over and I'd look through her pictures again, I'd read posts, and I'd always be like, oh my God, she's so adorable. I was like, how in the world am I going to get her attention after? And I was like, and I've never chased a woman. I've never chased a woman. I've never, ever gone after a woman. I'm not saying they come after me because I'm like a 10. I'm saying it's just, if the energy is they're giving me the signals, I would rather lean into that direction than to look at something I want and say, I'm going to just figure a way of making this person fall in love with me because I absolutely must have them, and I'm going to get run over, so I'm going to back up before I die. I guess that's what the little red hand was all about. Oh boy, that would have been me right there. You guys got to remind me I'm walking across streets and shit, okay? I'm getting a little too into this story because I'm talking about Elsie. So listen, I get to reading everything. I thought the thing changed. I guess it didn't. I get to reading all of her posts. So about 6 months had passed from my previous relationship. I'd had all this alone time, and I said, I know what I want to do. I really don't want to go looking for a quote-unquote girlfriend. I want to go looking for a really good friend. Like someone that because I say to myself, you never really think to yourself, my best friend is going to break up with me because I said something or did. You know what I mean? It's like your best friend's just your best friend. Like you guys just actually really like each other. So even when you like want to punch each other in the fucking nuts, you just like, I told her, I said, I have a friend, Christopher. I said, and I'll be honest with you, it is a love-hate relationship. I said, I love him and he hates me, okay? That's how it is. But we're stuck together. And we've been buddies. He was in my, wedding, like he was there. We've been together for a while. We lived together. Which is why he hated me. But what I'm saying is life is complicated. Relationships are complicated. But when you fucking like each other, you figure it out. When you respect and admire each other. And then sexy as hell right up on top of that. Right? So I start having these thoughts about her. And I'm like, how in the world? She's already shut me down. And then I see these pictures and it looks like she's in Vermont. She's not in Florida. This is over the summer. And I'm like, wonder what she's doing in Vermont. Is she on a vacation? And then it's so painful to hear her talk about dates and shit that she's going on. Oh, just came back from this guy, just did this, just did that. And I'm imagining her amazing. She has no children. She's not married, she's been married, but it was like 15 years ago or 20 years ago. She was married a long time ago. She's 7 years younger than me. She looks 20 years younger than me. No, she looks 30. She looks like she's about 25 years old to me. Maybe 28, maybe 32, okay? 32, she looks forever 32. She's amazing. Anyway, so here we go, okay? I am sitting there thinking, how can I get her attention? And I have no game, so I start consulting with my friends and everything. And I finally get enough nerve to send her like a message. And I said, hey, Elsie, hey, remember that dude from last year? You offered to give me all that advice. I was in a relationship at the time. That's ended. I'm in a different place, a better place. But look, I'll take you up on that coffee date. We should go out for coffee. I said, and I agree, I said, I'm not even interested in a relationship. I kind of turned it around on her. I said, I'm actually happy of being all by myself for the first time in my life, and I'm going to need more this time. And you already told me you didn't like me either. I was like, so how in the world can we not go hang out? I said, we're both single. If you meet somebody and fall in love and wander off, I'll be happy for you. This is like what in my mind I had this like speech. Well, I kind of sensed some of this, I said, and then if I wander off and fall in love, you'll be happy for me if we're not for each other. But in the meanwhile, we would actually make each other laugh. We'd be really good friends, and we should just hang out, period. That was my pitch. And so I kind of start a little bit of dialogue, and she shuts it down pretty quick. She's one of those people that you write a whole bunch to, and then she writes back this much. And I'm like, oh boy. I tried little one-liners and zingers, and they would always just go, they just fall real flat. And I was like, man, this is so uncomfortable. But she wasn't like shutting me down. She just wasn't putting anything into it. So I'm not really caring though, because I'm like, you know what? I really don't give a shit. I just know we would be friends. And when I reach out to her, she says, I'm in Vermont. I'm going to be here all summer long. And I'll be back in like October, 1st of November, whatever. And I'm like, oh boy. And maybe it was September, 1st of October. Whatever it is, seemed like forever away at the time. And I was like, oh my God. So I didn't go on, not because of her. We had no we never talked about, I mean, I think like one time, it was like 2 weeks before she came home, I got the nerve, brave enough, and I found out she was like dating, like she was already like, you know what I mean? Nothing in bad. I'm saying she was ready. I could see, make these posts. She's ready to love again. I'm like, oh, Jesus, is she talking about me? Of course she wasn't. But I would like hope she was. I knew she wasn't. But anyway, so I got up the nerve to like check in with her. And she's like, and I did way too much talking. I'm explaining my whole life story. I did way too, I don't even know how or why she went out with me. But I did a horrible job. When I read back on it, I cringe. I seemed so desperate, but at the time I thought I was being cool. Anyway, and then she would say, yeah, okay, that sounds like fun. I'll get in touch with you when I get back in town, be a couple weeks or something. Not even that many words, just, polite, nice, always like, oh, no problem. Well, yes, let's go out and we'll have a blast. Like, kind of chipper and happy, but not like, I've been thinking of you all summer, like you've been thinking of me. So I'm like, okay, if I can get in front of her, I got a shot. Because she says she's sapiosexual, which means it turns her on if somebody's smart. Well, I'm not that smart, but I can pretend to be, like, in, short bursts. If you just meet me, I can rattle off some things about my life and things that I've done and make myself sound pretty interesting for, till all the details come out. But I knew I had a chance because I told her, I said, well, let me tell you what. I'm going to be the most interesting person that you've gone to coffee with in a very long time. And she's like, oh, now we have to go out. So basically, I tapped into her need to not be outdone or something, and like challenged her, and she responded very well. So finally, all summer goes by. She's in Vermont. I look down, I see she's in town. And I straight up create an entire scenario to have an excuse through my work. I had a work project that I could have done in Zephyr Hills, and I decided to do it in St. Pete, about 2 or 3 blocks away from her house. And I planned the whole thing for like a week just to have an excuse to say, I'm not a stalker, which of course I was stalking her. I don't, it's no big deal, except I've been planning it for a week. But I just, tomorrow, happen to be at Black Crow Coffee Shop. Oh, I think I've seen in a lot of your posts, because I'm stalking you, I think I've seen that's pretty close to where you live. And she's like, oh, I do live by one, but I live by the other one. But you know what? I'm working on Sunday, but let me see. I could take a break, maybe around 3-ish, and I suppose we could meet at the coffee shop. She's got like, her psycho antenna is raised high, okay? She is not wanting any drama. She's already had plenty of trauma. Every hot chick has drama. Trauma and drama. Because men just want them so bad. They do, and I'm starting to understand why. Like, I've turned into one. I wish this weren't true. I wish I was making all this up. I haven't even gotten to the good stuff. I'm not telling the whole story in this video. This is just like going to have to be part 1. I'm going to get right to our first date. And then, because I can see that's coming close. And there's so much to say about it all, and I will talk for 5 hours. And I do appreciate you listening. So I'm going to make this part 1. There's going to be, oh my God, there's so many interesting things. She declared the 30-day rule on me. And that was quite a challenge. And there was so many, she's amazing. We're getting ready to go to Mexico. We are going to Mexico. We planned a trip. This could be, you know what I'm saying? When you plan a trip together with somebody, the last time I planned a trip with a woman, a wonderful woman, it was to Costa Rica, and guess what? We broke up the day of the trip, and I didn't go. Like, literally, 2 days before the trip. She's like, if you want to go, you can still go. And I was like, are you shitting me? I was like, do you want me to go? And she's like, well, I really don't care one way or another. I said, well, I'll tell you what. I'll just stay here then. And I was being a dumbass. I shouldn't have. It's a long story. It all worked out. But that's... So anyway, we're planning a trip. So let me keep talking. And then I'm going to let you guys go. So, here's what's happening. I love all your little thumbs and everything. You guys are adorable. So here's what's happening. I planned this whole elaborate thing. And it was a real work project. You know, it was true, but I just really worked it. And I had a feeling if I made it convenient enough and she didn't have to think too long about it or go too far. But you know, if she had to plan it, by the time she's like 2 days later, she'd be like, you know what, I got a bad feeling about Saturday, and she'd cancel. So to me, this was all about strategy. But I had a feeling I could pique her curiosity if I could just get in front of her. So she says she'll meet me. And I come down, I do the gig thing. That was fine. I started sweating. Like, we took a photograph, and I have rings, like huge rings. So I have them now, because I feel like I'm sweating now. Hold on. So, oh, damn, look at that one's creeping in. It's literally 84 degrees out here, and I've got a pair of black jeans on, which is not helping. If I would have known, you know, that I was going to be walking, where in the hell am I? Oh my God. I'm all the way downtown. I know where, I got to turn around, I think. So, yeah. If I just kept going, we would go straight into the ocean in Tampa Bay. I'm on the island. Well, it's kind of a long peninsula in St. Petersburg. It's at the end of this long peninsula. It's like at the slice off of Florida. And between the peninsula and land is Tampa's on one side and St. Petersburg is on the tip of the peninsula on the other side. Bridges connect them. It's real super long and it's gorgeous all the time. Okay. So, she says she's going to walk over and meet me at the coffee shop. She walks over. I see her. I recognize her. Like, I know, oh my God, this is her. Holy shit. This is really happening. My heart starts pounding. I'm thinking about all the work. I have never waited months and months to go out with somebody, okay? I've been essentially, you know, really very curious, and she ended up being this, I mean, you know what I mean, like, object of my desire. And I'm like, what in the holy hell am I gonna do? But I wasn't nervous. It was just like, what am I gonna do when I do this? I don't even care what happens. It's like, there was a sense of confidence somehow or another, and I was terrified at the same time. Anyway, I'm trying not to die. I'm gonna go for it. And I'm sitting in front of her, and I swear to God, I'm not exaggerating. She'll tell you this herself one of these days. I totally went nuts. I went crazy. She sits down across from me, and she's kind